Hey, what's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to tell you the story about the time that I got beat up in juvenile detention. So, this was not a great story for me to share with you, first off, but it was a real eye-opener to me as far as what to expect and what jail conditions and prison conditions would be like for me in the future, going on as an adult. A real eye-opener, what happened. So, it was a regular night. We locked in, and we had single-man cells in this detention center. And at the time, there were no bathrooms. So basically, you had to bang on the door and get one of the COs to come down and unlock you and let you go to the bathroom if you needed to go during the lockdown, during the nighttime hours. Some of you might have seen in some of my other videos, I had some problems with some COs there, so eventually they got to the point where they were not even allowing me to come out, and I was being forced, to pee in the corner of the room and clean it up in the morning, and this was a regular thing, so I'm ashamed to even say that, but they had me living like a fucking animal because they didn't like having to let me out and get up out of the TV day room and walk down to my cell and unlock it for me. And because we had a lot of other issues also, so they were using that as a way to get back at me rather. So it was during one of these nights where I was let out to go to the bathroom. So I was literally asleep, and I got up and just walked out of the cell, put shower shoes on, walked out of the cell, and just went into the bathroom. Now, unlike the other times, this time the guard didn't go with me. Usually he would stay around the door area to look into the bathroom to see what's happening. So he went right back into the TV day room. I went down and I went in, and normally where there'd be nobody in there, there were 3 guys in there, right? So 2 of them were sitting on the toilets and 1 of them was standing, and they were all smoking in there. The setup of this bathroom is one in which you walk in from here, you turn to your left, and there's a line of toilets, metal toilets right here, all right next to each other with no divide, no nothing. So literally you're sitting there right next to each other, all sharing 1 or 2 rolls of toilet paper. It's fucking crazy. And while you're seated on those toilets, directly in front of you are metal sinks where people, shave and brush their teeth and do whatever. And then there's a little cutout and you walk behind the wall with the sinks, and those are that's the one shower room. So they used to cram us in there, 1 room, 6 shower heads, pushing us in 20 at a time sometimes. Terrible. But anyway, back to the story. So I walk into the bathroom. These guys are in there. They don't say nothing to me. I don't say nothing to them. I go to the urinal. I use the bathroom. I go to walk out. And when I go to walk out, one of them steps in the way of the door and blocks the door. So when he does this, I'm like, come on, man, fuck out of the way. I'm not in the mood to play around and shit. Just get the fuck out of my way. As he does this, I look back, and as I'm turning back to look what the other guys are doing, one of these guys snuck me. One of the biggest ones at it, actually, snuck me and hit me. When he hit me, because I had these stupid fucking shower shoes on, I slid back. There was water on the floor also. I slid and went back and hit my head on one of those metal sinks, right? So I hit my head on that sink, and all I remember was being laid out and my eyes blinking in and out of consciousness and seeing this one big dude, the biggest one of them, choking the shit out of me and punching me, letting go, and then just boom, ground and pounding me right on, and I'm on the sink. I can't move, and I'm coming in and out of consciousness, so I'm blacked out. I'm knocked out. And every time I did come back into consciousness, I would try to throw a punch or do something, but I was done. There was no way I was getting out of that. I was fucked. So the fight ended. The guards ended up coming in, taking everybody out, whatever. We all locked back in. I went crazy that night. That was one of the nights I flipped the fuck out. The whole entire night, I was slamming on the door, kicking the fucking door, making sure everybody in the whole floor stayed up. I was saying, nobody's going to fucking sleep tonight. Every motherfucker's going to stay up. And I kept kicking the door. And I said, when these doors open, I'm going to fucking kill you. To the guy. To the one main guy, the guy who snuck me. I said, I'm going to fucking kill you. I was just going nuts all night. Saying, when these doors open, I'm going to fucking murder this guy. And the truth of it is, I was the youngest person in there at the time. I was like 13 or 14. This guy was like 17. Some of the other guys were 18 and 19, but they were way bigger than me. You know, I was real small. I was probably 120, 130 pounds. This guy was like 6'2", 6'3", over 300 pounds. So the truth of it is that I probably would have gotten hurt and lost the fight anyway. But all I know is I had a razor blade and I was ready. I didn't give a fuck. I was so furious with what happened because it was unprovoked. We had no problems. And I was going to fucking slice this motherfucker up and do whatever I could do. If I lost, I lost, but I didn't care. I made it known to everyone throughout the whole entire night, for the rest of that night, what was going to happen. When the doors unlocked, I went right for the guy where his cell should have been, and I noticed his door didn't open. He wasn't in there. So they took him out and put him in a different facility to avoid whatever was going to happen there. So I didn't see him there. I learned from that one experience a very important lesson about jailing and about being in prison and shit that I actually would enforce and impose on all of my people in any jail situation. Never, ever come out of your fucking cell with shower shoes on. Never. You must have your fucking sneakers or boots on and fucking tied and strapped up, ready to fucking fight. I learned it from that one incident. So the story continues. The next day happened to be the only time ever in my life that my mother ever visited me in a jail was that next day. And when she showed up, I had to walk out into the visiting room, knotted up on my face. I didn't care about that. But the worst thing was this motherfucker's giant handprint was fucking bruised on my neck. You could see his fucking handprint bruised on me. And I was so fucking furious. And my mother saw it and started crying and was hysterical and left the visit. That was the last time my mother ever came to visit me, ever, in any jail. I was just enraged by the timing of it all and that it happened to be how the fuck she's going to come on this day. And of all days, she's going to see me like this, and it fucked me up. So, obviously, me and this guy have problems now. This bigger guy. We got big fucking problems. I end up seeing him like a year later when I went to report to probation. When we used to go to probation, we would have weapons on us and shit, knives, blades, whatever, brass knuckles, anything. So we would stash these weapons outside the probation building, and then I would go in. So I went in, I walked in with another guy that I knew, and when I walked in, there's a whole line of people sitting on this bench waiting to see their probation officers, and I see this motherfucker sitting there. So the minute I see him, I tell my boy, listen, I'm going to stab this motherfucker. I'm going to kill this motherfucker today. I'm going to stab him. I'm going to get him. And I explained to him what happened, and he's like, listen, man. I was like, I'm going to go outside right now and wait for him. I don't want to miss him. Fuck that. He's like, look, man, calm the fuck down. We'll get him. But not now. Not at this very moment. We'll catch him after. You can't walk back out the probation building because they got cameras everywhere, and they seen you walk in already. Don't bring fucking heat to yourself. Just play cool, wait it out, do what you got to do, see your PO, and then get him. And he convinced me that that was the better move. I went in, I saw my probation officer. Something happened where he fucking kept me there and dragged it out and delayed it. When I came out, I never saw the guy again. He was gone already. He wasn't there. So he slid past that time. Little does this motherfucker know, I'm sure he has no fucking idea that in my mind, I was seeking revenge, or he was on my fucking murder list, basically. There's a list in my mind with very few people on it who I was already justified in my head in murdering. I took this shit real fucking serious. And it's not about me losing a fight. It's about the fact that they were way fucking bigger than me, 3 of them, and this motherfucker snuck me and did me fucking dirty. And because of what my mother had to see the next day. Just he's a piece of shit. And in my mind, he was going to die. So this motherfucker should be thankful. I also am thankful to God, but he should be as well. I'm thankful that it didn't happen, but he should thank God that I changed. Thank God that I'm not the same person that I was. Because had I caught my hands on him, had I stayed in the streets, not only would this guy have disappeared, but I would have fucking brutalized him for what he did. And again, maybe a lot of you are going to think this is an overreaction, but this is how my mindset worked back then. You know, I was real hurt. I was very fucking hurt inside, and shit was very personal for me. Very, very personal. So, again, I wanted to share this with you mainly because some of you guys have been asking me about fighting and fight stories and shit like that. So I thought I'd start by telling you about the time that I lost bad and the time I got hurt in a fight. And again, I don't consider it a loss to myself because it wasn't a fair fight. I never had a chance, and I got snuck. And because I slipped and hit my head, I was knocked out. You know, I can't consider it a loss. Though I've changed, I'm not the same person who would have a fucking murder list in his head. I still, to this day, as much as I change, as much as I want to be about God and, you know, ask for his help to constantly keep me away from fucking up and keep giving me the strength to do right and be godly and keep on helping people. As much as I want that, as much as that's actually occurring in my life, there's always a part of me that is still that same person from before, no matter what. And that'll die with me. And I still, now, to this day, as much as you guys hear me talking about all this positive, good shit, there's a part of me still that wants to fucking murder this motherfucker for that. And I say that to you guys only so you see that the damage that occurs from living a fucked up life and being in conditions like that where you're brutalized and mistreated and, you know, put in a cage, that shit has serious consequences as a result. I've told you guys in some of my other videos how that shit fucked me up. This is a good example. Now I'm trying to be a regular citizen in society, and I hear myself when I verbalize these things and realize how crazy they sound. But to me, they're not crazy. To me, they're normal. And the reason they're normal is because I went through some fucked up things 20 years ago. I'm talking 20 years later. More than 20 years when this fight happened. And the damage, not of that, of course, I don't give a fuck about that, but of being in those places and that kind of environment and learning violence and fucking bloodshed stays with me still. So stay the fuck out of these kind of places, please, because there are horrors that go on and you have no idea the shit that could happen to you. I hope you guys enjoyed this story. I'll talk to you next time.